Hello, my name is Volkmar Filzke, Success Maximizer, mentor, coach and book author, and welcome to this video about your success maximization. Today's topic, this is a huge problem, or subtitle, how reliable are you really? The thing is this, my hypothesis is teams, entire organizations could be at least by 25% more successful, achieve more, become more productive if just everybody would be 100% reliable, or let's say 90% reliable. If we could just rely on people, it's a major success factor, and sometimes it's just overlooked and say people are not reliable. I cannot rely on when somebody says something that they do something, or on other things. I give you 7 things, 7 examples, and you can add more to this. But these 7 examples where I encourage you to look at for yourself, first of all for yourself, and also for your teammates, team members, to say, okay, can we become better at that? Can we become 100% reliable in these things? And you might be wondering then, when you go through this list, why are we not reliable on this? What is in our way? And of course, there are sometimes really mindsets, beliefs, bad education in this. And sometimes we could say, okay, with some people you cannot be reliable, or it takes too much effort to teach and coach them to become reliable. Absolutely, I get this point. And sometimes you need to exchange people, even say, okay, we need a reliable team. Great teams who perform in a best way, Champions League teams, they can 100% rely on each other. It's amazing. It's so simple if you look at it. If you have one team member in a great soccer team, for example, you cannot rely on, I mean, this person must get out. It's as simple, and coaches know that. Of course, this person gets out. It can be the best player sometimes, but if you cannot rely on this person, and we have some cases, it doesn't work. Even, and I don't mean only the capabilities in terms of playing soccer, I mean in terms of showing up for the training, being for the interview with the press and all things like that. So I'm digressing here a little bit. This one example, I didn't plan that even come into my mind, but I think it makes it very, very clear. I give you now 7 examples. I'm reading a little bit because 7 is difficult to remember. 3, you can always. 7, you need to train a bit more, but okay, no matter what. So number 1, be reliable if you agree to telephone calls at certain times that you show up on this call. It is so simple, and so many don't do this. I see that over and over again. It has nothing to do with I'm so busy. The most busy people sometimes are the ones that are most reliable in terms of showing up and doing what they say they want to do. And I have that again and again. It's not just a relationship when I'm a salesperson and I have a potential client. Even then, you show up, even as a potential client, you tell the truth. It's not like just not showing up, but it applies to all kinds of interactions within organizations, within teams. So show up for agreed upon telephone and video conferences. Be there. I mean, again, it's so simple. I'm thinking I'm teaching here children, but it's real life. I see that over and over again. Number 2, keep all project milestones. If you cannot keep them, then change them. Of course, that's always possible in projects. No project ever runs exactly the way we predict in the beginning, but change them. Don't just let them slip away. And I see that also over and over again. Yeah, we are just late there, and then look at the project milestones that we surpassed them. Now, why didn't we change them? I mean, what are we telling ourselves? So we become sloppy at that. We have a huge problem with it. If we are not disciplined in this, if we are not reliable with that, who else could believe us? Number 3, and it can be internal, external projects, whatever. And number 3, starting meetings late. It's a low-brainer. We all know this. Don't do this. Be reliable. If you say a time, then you start the meeting. You end the meeting as well. Sometimes tough. Sometimes I fail with that too. Anyway, all of these topics have sometimes challenges as well. However, remind yourself that you should be 100% reliable. You must be reliable. Okay, so don't start meetings late. Be on time. And then number 4, not implementing strategies. That's a bigger one, right? So we have a strategy, we laid it all out, and I'm helping companies with that too, right? So I'm designing strategy and say, let's implement it. And then that gets delayed. So we are not saying, we are not doing what we say we will do. So we are just delaying the whole thing, and it's slowing down and slowing down. So why are we not doing it? There are several reasons to that. I know there are fears and all kinds of circumstances. However, they're all homemade. So we are just not disciplined. We are not reliable in terms of what we say we do as a strategy, that we implement it as well. And it's to the own employees, to the own team, even to the customers, to the market. To the universe, you could say, even say to the universe, and you're not doing it. What should the universe think? Okay, number 5, improving standards. So saying, okay, we become sloppy in our own standards. We just do things that we would never allow ourselves normally. And then we think nobody's watching. There's always somebody watching. So do the things that you need to do. Have high standards even if nobody's watching. That's excellent, by the way. That's the best definition of excellence I came across. Do the things that you need to do even when nobody's watching. And great people do that. So it's exactly, they don't rely on that somebody's watching. So have high standards and always apply them. Don't be sloppy with your standards and just behave differently in different circumstances. Very tough. It's a very tough topic. It's not easy. It needs to be trained. Very often it needs a coach, a constant coach. That's why the great people have one. Okay, number 6, and denying responsibility is also one thing. It wasn't me. It was somebody else, blaming, etc. Be reliable in terms of that you take responsibility. You are the one. I can always say you are responsible. You're taking that. It's a funny thing that we think, yeah, I'm reliable, but not in this because that was somebody else. No, you take responsibility for that all the time. Is it always whatever your fault, or could you influence it 100%? No, but you take responsibility even if it didn't work out. You know what I mean, right? Responsibility is an own topic for a full-day workshop at least, right? So just getting at the surface here, but in terms of reliability, very important topic too. And no personal growth is number 7 I want to mention here. So people become sloppy and are not reliable in personal growth. They say, I will learn this, but they don't. I will go to this webinar, I will go to this training, but they don't. Or even they show up, but they don't learn anything. It's to yourself. You are not reliable in terms of what you say you're going to do. So increasing reliable is a big thing. It can be applied to many areas, and I just wanted to put the spotlight onto this topic, because if just, as I said in the beginning, a rough guess, not scientifically proven, but a rough guess, if organizations, teams were just 100% or 95% reliable, their performance would easily increase by 25, sometimes even more %. So hey, keeping that in mind, it's an easy lever. Just instill this notion of reliability in your organization, in your team, and first and foremost, for yourself. Okay. Having said all this, I'm looking forward to the next video with you, and until then, each day, drive your success with passion.